Hello, this is Del Barnes, and I am the director for the Enrichment Center. And this is just a special with the greatest person in the world to me. And that is none other than my brown sugar, Michelle Barnes. And I asked her to come on and just for us to have a conversation, especially since this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
And I'm going to, I'll probably ask her a couple questions, but I know that she have in her heart what she wants to share with you. And I trust that it will help someone out there. Okay, so welcome, babe.
Thank you, Mr. Watts. Hi, everyone. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to be with you today and to be given this wonderful opportunity to share my story. My breast cancer journey began on November 1st, 2018, and that's a day that I will never forget for the rest of my life. We went to the doctor, Del, my mom and I. We went to the doctor to get results. Never did I think in my wildest dreams that I would hear that I had breast cancer. In the past, I had blocked milk ducts, and so the doctor would give me an antibiotic, and that would just, dissolve the lump, and I would just go on my way. But this time, the lump looked suspicious. And when the results came back, my breast cancer surgeon said to me that I had invasive lobular carcinoma, to which I replied, "What? What did you say?" Because I couldn't believe the words that I was hearing coming out of his mouth. And he repeated it again. And at that point, I thought I was going to lose it. The room just started to look dark, and I felt like the floor was going to give way beneath my feet. And he grabbed me and he said, no. He said, "Who are you?" And at that point, I couldn't even think straight. I couldn't even comprehend the question that he was asking me. And he gently shook my arm and he said, "Who are you?" And it was as though something just clicked or connected within me. And I said, "I am a child of God." And he said, "Say it louder." And when I said it louder, he said, "That's right." He said, "And together we will beat this thing." He said, "But I need to know, are you with me?" And I said, "Yes, I'm with you." And he said, "Well then, let's beat this cancer." And beat it we did.
That we did. But throughout the journey, one of the things that I remembered was just the way we never embraced sickness, right? However, there was this calm about you. And then probably within your mind, there was a war going on. Tell us a little bit about that.
There was a war going on inside of me. I had to have a double mastectomy on December 19th, 2018. And that was one of the hardest, I think that was the hardest moment ever in my entire life, because I was losing a part of my womanhood, a part of my femininity, my sexuality. And that was hard for me. And then the next hardest thing was going through chemo, because chemo is a monster, a monster. I do not wish that on my worst enemy. And radiation was another beast in and of itself. But what kept me going is my children, and especially Destiny, our youngest was 17. Our middle child was 19, Duran, and my oldest son was in his 20s.
29.
I knew that the boys would be okay, but I knew that Desi still needed a mother. My work wasn't finished with her. And so through my whole cancer journey, I kept saying, I can't die yet. I can't die yet. Because I have to pour some more into Desi. I have to lay more of a foundation in her. She can't lose a mother yet. And so she was my fight. She was the reason I kept fighting. Because there were days when I really just wanted to throw in the towel and say, this is it, I'm done. And I remember one time, Del made me laugh. He said to me, you're not leaving me here with these 3 kids, so you better fight. You better fight, Michelle.
Yeah, but notice she didn't even say, she said the kids. She didn't say, and I had my husband.
He would be okay.
I had the kids.
I knew he would be okay. Del is so well loved by so many people that I knew he would be okay. But I just couldn't imagine Desi without a mom. And it's her face that kept me pushing day after day after day.
Wow. So take us to the day when you walked into Florida Cancer Institute, and they walked you through the chemo process. And one of the things that I was fortunate, about, I was able to be with you
Yes.
for the entire process.
It's not like now where loved ones cannot go in to a hospital or a treatment center with their loved ones because of the coronavirus. So I am so grateful that I went through that journey at a time when you could be present with me through the entirety of it.
Yeah, and I am glad that I was able to. So tell us a little bit about what was going through your mind during that process.
Well, first of all, I must say that I have an amazing, amazing oncologist. My oncologist's name is Dr. Lee, and she's a force to be reckoned with. And she said, this is what we're going to do. And she just took charge, and I'm so glad she did, because my brain was just mush. I just couldn't believe I was going through this. And so she's very forceful, but in a good way. And she said to me, she said, just listen to me and we will get through this. And that's exactly what I did. I put my life in God's hands, in her hands, and I came out on the other side of this. When the first day that I walked into the cancer center, I was scared to death. I was so scared to death. You hear all of these stories about chemo, and they are true. Chemo is a monster. But the people at the cancer center were so loving, and they were so helpful, and they were so caring, and they were so kind to me. They were like family. And what I loved about them is that from the first day, they knew your name. You know, you were not just a number or, just another patient. They knew your name, and they took the time to talk to you. I had a beautiful nurse, Jenny. She used to laugh. She used to joke a lot. She used to say, "I'm Jenny from the Bronx," but she was, oh my God, she was my angel.
She was great.
She was an angel. I had to take chemo. I had a cocktail, they call it. So it's about 3 different chemos. I had to get anti-nausea medicine, needles this big. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but the needles were large, in my stomach. I also had to get the Neulasta patch on the back of my arm. I mean, just painful experiences to me. But my nurse just made the experiences so much better. I wanted to get the big injection in my arm, and she said, no, don't get it in your arm. She said, get it in your stomach because you have more fat here. Remember? She said you have more fat, and it will cushion the injection. And I'm so glad I listened to her. And she used to massage my side first, right, Del?
Yeah.
She used to massage my side, and then Del used to say to me, just look at me. Don't look at the needle. Just look at me. Because every time I looked at that big needle, I thought I was going to pass out. But I kept my eyes on him, and he held my hand, and she massaged my side, and I got through it. And then the Neulasta patch, if you know that white patch, you see the commercial on TV, there's like it makes a sound,
Yeah.
and then it sticks
It
you.
just goes
And
click.
I know. And so I'm waiting in
I
anticipation.
brought you back there, weren't I?
Yeah, yeah, for that stick. I wish it would just stick you without, warning you, forewarning you. But so those are just some of the things that I had to go through. I think there were a couple times my blood pressure dropped real
Right.
low, and we
Right.
were a little nervous about that. But God was always in control every step of the way. Every cancer treatment, every radiation session, Dell was right there with me, and my mom. They were right there with me to the point where everyone knew them in the cancer center. And I am so appreciative of that because I'm a tough girl. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, but nothing, shout out to Brooklyn, but nothing compared me for this journey. This journey is something else.
One of the greatest things, babe, is that everyone became a family in that center.
Yeah.
The nurses, the receptionists. I mean, the minute you walk in, you receive a smile, and that made you feel so welcomed and made you feel like they care.
Yes.
And the way they treated you told you that. I remember the first time you walked in to get your blood pressure, right? And you were telling the nurse, you were looking at the needle and everything, and that was one of the things that you were afraid. And they said, "No, we got you. We're gonna take care of you." So that made me feel a little bit better, knowing that they gave you their word.
Yes.
That they were going to take care of
Yes,
you.
and they did.
Now-
They made the experience as best it could be under
Right.
the circumstances. Another thing that used to alarm me a lot or give me anxiety was
The port.
the port.
Mhm.
Preparing the port for the chemo. And that used to cause a lot of pain. And so one of my nurses said, "Oh, there's a freeze spray that we could use." And so they would spray it, and it would be really cold. And I'm focused on the cold, and then they, just stuck the needle in to prepare the port for the chemo. So little things like that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
It's the
believe you me.
care. It's the care.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about your. You went from the chemo to radiation.
Yeah.
Two totally different experiences.
Yeah, I was supposed to have 6 rounds of chemo, but after 4 rounds, I said, enough of that, no more. I could not take any more. And I was doing so well.
Mhm.
I had gotten a PET scan a couple weeks before my 4th round, and it showed that I had no cancer. There were no cancer cells in my body at all. And so my oncologist said, yes, we can stop right here, round number 4 of chemo. We don't have to do the other 2 rounds. And so I was so grateful for that. I was so grateful for that. And then a couple weeks later, I began the radiation journey, and that was fine. That was wonderful. I did 30 rounds of radiation until the last week. The last week I got sunburned so bad around my neck, under my arm, and in the breast area. My skin turned so dark, and at some points you could actually see raw flesh. Remember?
Mhm.
You could see raw flesh.
It was very sensitive.
Yeah,
that
I
area.
got burned so bad that last week.
Wow. It's if you were to say something directly to a young lady or a lady who just received diagnosis of having cancer, what would that word of encouragement be?
I would say to that young lady, it's not the end of the world. It is not a death sentence. A long time ago, it used to be a death sentence, but not now. There are so many different things that they use,
Methods and
medicines
treatments,
and
right.
treatments and things like that, that it is not a death sentence. There is life after cancer. And if God brought you to it, if God brought you to the experience, then He can also take you through the experience. So I would remind you that God is in control and that you're not walking this journey alone. Do everything your doctors tell you to do because they have the experience, they know what they're doing. My oncologist had 30 years of experience under her belt, so I was blessed with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get through this. You never know how strong you are until you have to be strong. So right now you might be thinking, oh my God, this is worse than death to me. You can get through this, and you are stronger than you think you are.
And I would like to say that to the husband or the significant other, when the one you love is going through this, be that tower of support. It means so much. And when you're there, it helps to. There were times when I noticed, and she didn't say anything. I noticed that Michelle was like, you know, when someone is swimming, and while swimming, they go under for a little bit,
Yeah.
because they're getting exhausted a little bit. The arms are getting tired because they've been swimming for a little while. And, you know, they just wanted to relax just for a second or two. You know, I noticed that, and that's when I became the coach, you know. So if you have someone in your life that seem like they are going under, you know, be that coach, be present, and just coach them. Come on, you can do this. We're in this together, and you're going to make it.
Yes.
You know, and we need that, you know. So to those who are experiencing this right now, we want you to know that there is hope.
Yes.
There is hope. And don't give up. Don't give up. You're going to make it. You're going to make it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that day when, as we get ready to wrap this up, right? Tell us a little bit about that day when you rung the bell. What
Oh my
was that
God.
like?
That was the best feeling ever. Just knowing that the chemo was over, the radiation was over, there were no cancer cells at all in my body. It was just a beautiful, beautiful, sunshiny day.
And all I heard was, ding, ding, ding.
I rang that bell.
You sure enough did.
Yeah.
But you know what? Here's the greatest thing about that is that the team members, you know, I know you had your friends there, right? Mom was there, but the team came out. The ladies, they put down what they were doing. If they didn't have a client in front of them, they came out. I even had a team member took the camera and did the video and everything like that. That's what I really loved about. We were not just someone.
They celebrated with us. It was as though we were just a part of a huge family, and my family was celebrating with me. It was a beautiful day. It was, oh gosh, best day ever.
Amen.
Best day ever. But you have to understand, you know, those of you who know Del, you know, whenever I went to get chemo, I was there all day, maybe about 4 hours. And Del would be ministering to a lot of the other patients. You know, as long as I was comfortable, or if I had guests, because a lot of some of my friends and my coworkers would come and visit me. So he knew I was okay. And Del would just walk around and he would just minister to other people. And we gained so many friends. We got to know so many people because of that. So it was like we were family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they looked
Yeah.
forward to us coming.
Yeah. And to be honest, I look forward to going too.
Yeah, so did I.
You know.
So did I.
So we just wanted to do this to encourage those of you who may be going through this season of your life and you received the diagnosis that you had breast cancer, in whatever form, whatever degree, we just want you to know that as long as you have hope and faith that you are going to make it through the process.
Begins here, don't it?
Yes, yes, you have to have that mind, that mindset that I'm going to beat this thing.
That's right.
You are a warrior. And we stand with you, believing that you're going to make it through this. And if you have a family member, if it's you're watching this and you may not be the person going through at this time, and you have a family member, reach out and touch base with them and just let them know, I stand with you. And we're going to beat this. We're going to do this together. Give them all the support that you can. All right, love on them.
Yeah. And now I am living my best life ever. I got a new position. I got a new position on my job. I am helping children. I am working with children in our underperforming subgroups, and I'm helping them to succeed. My purpose is so much bigger than it was before my cancer journey, and I'm loving my life. I'm loving God. I'm loving the kids. I'm loving my family. I'm loving my husband. I'm just
baby.
loving. I'm just loving.
Baby. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming
Oh, my
on
honor. My honor.
and doing this.
Yeah. Thank you.